November marks the beginning of a reflection of those who have died and death itself. There are two holidays that bring attention to death in November. November 1st is Saints' Day and November 2nd is All Souls' Day.
All Saints' Day, which is celebrated November 1st, is a solemn holy day of Catholic tradition dedicated to the saints of the Church, or those who have gone to heaven. It's required for all Catholics to go to Mass since it's a holy day of obligation. All Souls' Day, however, is not a holy day of obligation and instead a day for the remembrance of those who have died. It's extremely common for a list of the names of those who have died to be read aloud during Mass, and during more recent times, we now can listen to the names of those who have died during the radio. Without further ado, here's some superstitions surrounding death and dying in Ireland. A superstition is defined in many different ways, but for this video, it can be described as a custom or an act based upon beliefs. For those of you who like to sleep with the curtains open and death happens to knock on your door, here's a superstition that might creep you out. Many believe that when a person dies, you must close all the curtains. Why, you ask? Well, because if a moonbeam were to shine through the window onto the corpse, the devil can send his demons down to steal the soul. If you have a lot of photographs hanging around of someone who has just died, have fun with this traditional belief. Family photographs were also turned face down to prevent any of those close friends and relatives of the deceased from being possessed by the spirit of the dead. One of the customs is to stop all the clocks at the time of death. There is some confusion as to where this originated. Sources say that when people died at home, they would stop the clocks for the doctor to know the exact time of death, or to confuse the devil and give the soul time to reach heaven. You can be the judge of that. An old superstition states that when a person hears 3 knocks, it means someone has died. In many paranormal tales, when 3 knocks are heard at the door and nobody is there, it means that someone has died or is about to. These knocks are normally heard before someone dies, so it's a classic omen. This belief even has the nickname of 3 knocks of doom. The Irish and Scots both have traditions that state that 3 knocks on the door or 3 taps on the window, especially heard at regular intervals, lasting for 2 minutes, means death. A young girl happened to die of a fever while away on a visit to some friends, and her father thought it safer not to bring her home but to have her buried in the nearest churchyard. However, a few nights after his return home, he was awakened by a mournful wail at the window, and a voice cried, Then the poor father knew well what it meant, and he prayed in the name of God that the spirit of his dead child might rest in peace until the morning. And when the day broke, he arose and set off to the strange burial ground, and there he drew the coffin from the earth, and had it carried all the way back from Cork to Mayo. And after he had laid time dead in the old graveyard beside his people and his kindred, the spirit of his child had rest, and the mournful cry was never heard again.